Hey everybody, welcome back to the Skookum Report. This email comes to me from Dustin Bordelon, or Bordelon. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, man. It's Bordelon, and his name is Dustin. He says, it was 2018 and I was bass fishing in a place called Camel Slough. I'm having trouble with words today. Slough. I'm guessing Camel Slough. And that's a part of a bigger lake named Saline Lake in DeVille, Louisiana. He says, I've fished this lake off and on my whole life since I grew up in the area. And that morning I fished a few places but eventually came back to the slough because I've always had good luck there. I had entered the slough on the right side and fished all the way down into the back channel and then came back up the left side and around this old cypress tree on the corner which has a platform built on it from old duck hunters. I made a loop around the tree casting in various spots and then continued down the bank toward this old T-shaped dock which has been there for years as well. Behind the dock there is an old abandoned camp which sits about 60 yards back in the trees. As I neared the right side of the T-shaped dock, I looked down to adjust my foot on the trolling motor pedal so to angle around the dock as I made one last cast at the inside corner. When suddenly I heard a loud splash to my left side on the other side of the dock. My initial thought was gator, but to my surprise as I look over, I see a 5-foot-tall bipedal run out of the water, up the slight embankment and into the trees to the left of the camp. I guess that camp ain't so abandoned anymore. For a second I was stunned, but then quickly my brain rushed and said, wait, what if there's more, or possibly a bigger one, still in the water waiting to grab me off this boat? So I threw my pole in the bottom of the boat and I kicked my tackle box out of the way and I cranked that boat just as he was disappearing into the trees. I hauled ass back to the boat dock where I fished for about another hour or two in sight of other people before I left. But I note that as it ran uphill, it slipped, and when it did, it reached down with its right hand to balance itself and get its footing. I got a very good look at its hand when it reached down, and I noticed it was as human-looking as mine, except for the backhand, which was hairy as the rest of its body. However, its fingers and palm were just like mine, except a few shades darker. Its fur appeared to be about 3 inches long. It was wet from the neck down. The wet body just looked black from being wet, but the neck and head was dry and very cinnamon-colored. I don't recall seeing a face, but because its body was wet, I could see it wasn't super muscular. It had the build of a high school athlete, but not huge. I'd assume had its hair been dry, it would have been a lot thicker looking of a build, but wet is how I saw it. I would say the entire sighting lasted roughly 5 seconds, from splash to disappearance. I have not been back to that spot since. I kick myself for not getting the prints off the bank, but I was scared crapless at the time. Since then, I've moved from there and have no access to do further research. I've honestly only told a few people until now for fear that somebody would try to hunt and possibly kill it. But after 3 years, I'd say it's time to speak for research purposes. And this is my story, and my Google Maps location history can verify my location and my abrupt leaving from the location at exactly 10:04 a.m. From there, it shows me hauling ass back to the ramp, where I fished a bit more before leaving for the house, still weirded out by the sighting. I know what I saw was a Sasquatch, or AKA Australopithecus. My ultimate question is, what was it doing in the water? Did I sneak up on it as it was bathing? Or had it swam from the other side and crossed as I was coming down the bank? Was it rushing to reach the bank before I got there, or merely playing in the water? If it was swimming, it was the quietest swimmer ever. Or was it waiting on me and my sudden shift in boat maneuver scared it into running? I believe it to be a juvenile one compared to stories I've heard about the 8-footers. I've heard stories about boaters going missing, and it really makes me think. I often think about it and what its true intentions were that day in the water before I scared it off. Below, I included some coordinates, signed the Squatcher. And these coordinates are, they say 31.324826.2, comma. And the next group of numbers is minus 92.114765.2. For those of you who want to look that up or do whatever you do with those. I'm not much of a coordinates type of guy or typing that stuff in on Google Maps or whatever. I just like reading the encounters and taking them for what they are. Good stories, good encounters, and very interesting. And I just love Bigfoot encounters. I always have ever since I was little. Watched everything on TV that I could about it. And paranormal. All the cryptids, though, they always got me excited more than anything else paranormal, though. I like the Loch Ness Monster and the Bigfoot stuff. But Bigfoot always won out above all the others. Now, if you or anybody you know has had a sighting or a Bigfoot encounter and you'd like to have it on the show here, write it down and put it in an email and shoot it off to me at skookumreport@gmail.com. That's skookumreport@gmail.com. And I'll be sure to get it up on the channel for you. It's not a problem at all. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button if you liked it. And leave a comment and say hi. I enjoyed talking to you guys, meeting you guys. And y'all are really a good group of people, the ones that I've met so far. And I want to thank Dustin one more time for sending this email to me. I appreciate it. And I'll see you guys again next time on the Skookum Report, all right? God bless. Stay safe. Bye-bye.